Hello, welcome to the Super VVVVV World Guide. I'll be going over everything you need to know before you play my Super World in Mario Maker 2. So, first question, what even is Super VVVVV World? Super VVV... I'm getting really tired of pronouncing all the V's, so I'm just going to say V or Super V World from now on because this is just exhausting. Super V World is a Super Mario Maker 2 super world that mixes hard platforming with V-like designs incorporated into it. A total of 18 levels, not including the introduction and credit levels, both being at the beginning and end respectively, throughout 6 different worlds. I want to preface the fact that this is not a Kaizo-oriented super world. It is mainly driven by platforming, although there are a few like spring-related tricks, but there are 0 shell-related tricks throughout the entire super world. Anyways, moving on. Question 2, how do you make the game look all black and blue and funky looking? Alright, so this is the main reason this guide even exists in the first place. The Super World is unique in the fact that the intended way of playing it is to not only change how the game looks, but also to turn off in-game audio and play different songs instead. But let's get back to the visuals first. The intended way of playing the Super World is to add a color key filter onto your capture card in OBS and put a color source behind it. Yes, that's a lot of things, so I'm gonna break it down step by step. Alright, so this is just a basic OBS profile. I made a new one just to make this a lot easier instead of it being confusing with my setup. This is just basic OBS of what it looks like. Obviously we're in a loophole here because I'm recording OBS, which is recording itself over and over again. But I've added my capture card, and what you're going to want to do first is head to filters, then add filter, and then add color key. You can name it whatever you want, I don't care. I'll just keep it as color key for now. And you're going to want to select key color type to be custom color and set the custom color to be black. And you're going to want the similarity to, actually, hold on, I forgot the exact number. Hold on. Okay, so similarity is going to go at all the way down to 1. Smoothness is going to go to exactly 800, which I'll actually just type it in. The opacity can stay exactly the same, although the contrast is going to go all the way down. Brightness is also going to go all the way down, and gamma is also going to go all the way down. Now you can see here on the preview that it's already changed, and this should be this is what it should look like. Okay, so that's everything you need to do for your capture card. That's the only thing you need to do here. But the other step is to add a color source behind the capture card. Make sure it's below it, not above it like this. We're gonna move that to below it, and the color is going to be 0496C2. Now, I'll put that in the description, obviously. Although, as you'll see in a moment, you can actually set the color to anything you want. It doesn't have to be this color, although this is the color I do recommend just for your eyeballs and just general enjoyment of the Super World. But yeah, so set it to that, and then there you go. Now, what I would recommend doing is grouping both of these together. I'll just call it group, and then you can full screen projector the source onto a screen, and then that is how you will play the Super World. Now, I'll move over what I just did onto this monitor, which should look like this, and this is the exact color scheme that it will be. It's just not on Mario Maker yet. So yeah, that's all you need to do for the visuals. I'm not going to open Mario Maker right now because I don't have my Switch with me. So yeah, that's actually all you need to do for the visuals. It's just that simple. Add the color key filter to your capture card with the settings that I've already mentioned, and then add a color source with this specific shade of blue behind it, and then turn it into a group. And then to play it, you got a full screen projector it onto your monitor. For those who do stream regularly, you may be wondering, won't this cause desync because I'm not actually using the Switch, I'm using a OBS preview to play, and you would be right. But as long as you deactivate and activate your capture card frequently, which I'm sure if you do stream with a capture card actively, you already turn it off and on all the time when it desyncs. So as long as you do that every once in a while, then you shouldn't have any problem. But yeah, let's move on to the audio. Okay, just kidding, because I totally forgot to talk about the doing whatever color you want to. Okay, so as a bit of an explanation, up here on the right, you can't really see my cursor, but this is Mario Maker, and the color source is right behind it. I have not turned on the filter yet, so I will turn it on. like that. And this right here is just the very first screen of the very first level. So you can see this is how it's supposed to look, and then if you turn it off, move this over here so you guys can see it properly. Yeah, so you turn it off, it looks like normal, and then turn it on, it looks like this. So that is the way you are supposed to play this. But if you do not like blue for some reason, even though that is the recommended color, you can change the color source behind it and change it to literally whatever color you want. So for this demonstration, I'll just use the shade of purple that I have saved, and there you go. Now it's purple. This is actually what I used to make the Super World for a bit before I changed it to the blue, as the blue feels a lot more V-like instead of this purple. But yeah, you can literally change the color source to whatever color you want, and that color will just be the color. I wouldn't choose some colors, like this shade of red is super hard in the eyes. But yeah, you can literally do any color. You can do like a weird lime color if you want. Yeah, it's completely up to you, but again, I would recommend using this color. I also want to mention that this whole like color key filter, color source behind it thing, there is so much more you can do with this, and I originally was going to make a video about all the possible combinations and stuff, but I decided not to. But yeah, you can mess around with this instead of just having it as you know, the similarity, like turn this up and then put the contrast up instead, and then maybe put the smoothness down. Obviously this just looks like a deep fried Mario at this point, but you know, there's so much you can do. Or yeah, you could also change the custom color to like red instead, and just, you know, you can change how it looks so much. But yeah, I definitely recommend just having some fun with this and putting different backgrounds behind things and put it in different game styles. There's a lot of things you can do with it. Okay, and instead of moving on to the audio, I'm going to show you the alternative to this if you do not have a capture card. All right, so you're gonna want to go to your Switch system settings, go all the way down to system, and go down to change display colors. Now there's gonna be two options here: invert colors and grayscale. So it's, you know, just the normal default. But for what we're doing, you're gonna want to hit invert colors. Now it's pretty self-explanatory what this does. It inverts every single color on the Switch. So if we go back to the original, the very first level here, you can see that it looks very, you know, weird. Now this is not, you know, the intended way of playing VVV World, nor is it Mario. You know, it's not Mario and it's not VVV. Like, it's kind of just its own thing. So it's, well, not the intended experience. It is a different experience than Mario's, which, you know, kind of makes it feel more unique. So unfortunately that is the only other option besides putting a color key filter on OBS, unless you're somehow good enough to hack your Switch and make it look like it does with the color key filter, which honestly kudos to you if you somehow get that to work. But yeah, unfortunately this is the only option that I figured out for non-capture card users. But it still is very different, and some of the backgrounds look really cool, like the sky background with inverted colors looks really cool. But yeah, let's move on to the audio. Okay, so how are you supposed to play this auditorily? I don't know if that's a word, but it's one now. The way that you're supposed to play this Super World is to turn off game audio completely, because Nintendo doesn't let you turn off the music separately from the sounds, thanks to Nintendo. You're supposed to play separate V songs from the actual game as some of the level songs. In the description, there's a link to the full playlist of all the songs included in order, mostly. You can't reuse songs in a YouTube playlist. There's also a paste bin for the reference sheet, just if you want to know for each level what song to play. Although I do recommend actually just buying the V soundtrack. It's a very, very good soundtrack. But yeah. So, like, for example, if you're playing the first level, beginning exploration, turn off all the game audio, and as soon as you get in, just play Passion for Exploring. Granted, it's not a very clean option, and you have to like keep switching throughout every single level, but if you have all the songs in one place and can easily swap between them, then it's a lot easier. There are 2 songs that I didn't realize were part of the V soundtrack until way too late in the process, which I did use as background music for this video, and probably one of them is playing right now, being Paste Energy and Piercing the Sky, which I did not know existed until like 3 days ago. So those are not included in the Super World, but the rest of the songs more than make up for it. But yeah, I think that covers all of our bases. I also recommend, if you still are a bit confused on what songs to play and stuff, also in the description or coming out soon will be a complete playthrough of the Super World from my end, and the songs are edited in as they're supposed to be. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to do it the exact same, especially with like the ending song and all that. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy Super VVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVVV